I think you will agree with me when I say monitoring your glucose levels with a glucose meter can be a pain, both figuratively and literally. It's tiresome having to prick your finger every morning before and after each meal to look at your glucose levels. One of the amazing things about the world we currently live in is the extraordinary technology that we have around us. With the incredible advancements in technology, we have various health tools at our fingertips. A health tool that has quickly gained popularity and sparked interest among non-diabetics also is the continuous glucose monitor, a CGM. A continuous glucose monitor is a small wearable device that allows you to measure your glucose levels 24 hours a day. So with a simple glance at your phone, you can visually see in real time how your glucose levels respond to a meal you've eaten, the exercise you've done, how you reacted to stress, or how well your sleep was. I'm super excited to get into today's product review video, where I'll be going through Nutrisense's continuous glucose monitor. In this Nutrisense review, I will be explaining how the Nutrisense program, which combines the continuous glucose monitor with their NutriSense app and personalized registered dietitian support, can help you better understand your glucose levels and optimize them. I'll be sharing with you my experience, but I'll also be sharing with you some of the data, some of the analytics that come within the app, gained through the CGM, to show you some of the awesome insights that it can give you. So let's get into the video. Hello and welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, welcome, hello. My name is Despina Pavlou. I talk about all things PCOS and how to reverse it naturally. And I also upload product review videos such as these. So if that sounds exciting, if that's what you're looking for, then consider subscribing, click that red button below and turn on the notification bell to be notified when I upload a new video. So glucose meters or glucometers are one of the most popular and most accurate ways of measuring your glucose levels, and they do this by measuring the glucose in the blood. But glucose meters are only a snapshot of time. What I mean by this is that the number that the glucose meter gives you is only indicates your glucose levels at that moment in time. So while glucose meters are super helpful and accurate, they do not give you a full picture of what your glucose levels are. On the other hand, a CGM provides you with a time series worth of data, and you can monitor in real time how your blood sugar is responding to your diet, to exercise, to stress, and to sleep, to a wide range of lifestyle factors. So the Smart Health Tracking System liberates you from the hassle of constantly having to finger prick to monitor your glucose levels. Now, regular blood sugar monitoring is critical for diabetes management, but can also be a really great preventative tool. Maintaining healthy blood sugar levels is something that should concern everyone. When blood sugar levels are stable, energy, mood, appetite, and concentration improve. Nutrisense is an artificially intelligent powered personalized nutrition coach that helps users find a diet that works with their unique physiology. Nutrisense offers the Freestyle Libre CGM device in their program, but they have developed a separate app. Now you might be wondering, well, how does a continuous glucose monitor actually work? Well, to understand how the CGM device works, you have to understand the components that make up the CGM device. This includes the sensor, transmitter, and receiver. Now I won't go into all of the components. I'm going to touch on the sensor because I feel like that's quite a key area to understand how it does work. And if you'd like to find out more about how the CGM device does work, then check out my full in-depth product review found on my blog, my website, which I'll have the link to that in the description box down below, or just click the card here. So the CGM sensor measures the glucose levels found in the interstitial fluid as opposed to the blood glucose levels, which are measured when you're using a glucose meter. Both glucose sensors use similar detection methods despite the difference in area of where the glucose is measured. Just like glucose meters, the CGM sensors are electroenzymatic. On the tip of the sensor, there is an enzyme glucose oxidase. Glucose molecules diffuse from the interstitial fluid through the outer membrane, and they react with glucose oxidase to create a signal that the CGM can measure. So you might be wondering, are CGM devices accurate? So look, The test your doctor runs is regarded as the most accurate way of measuring your glucose levels than any at-home device. But here's the thing, glucose monitoring products like your glucose meter, like the Freestyle Libre CGM device, all go through clinical trials to test for accuracy. Industry experts compare all product results to the equipment you find in your doctor's office in a hospital. They do not compare the results to each other, so results will be a bit different, but they should be close. The difference in where glucose is measured means that when there is a sudden change in glucose in the body, levels in the blood will respond much faster than the glucose found around the interstitial fluid. Typically, there is a 5 to 15 minute delay between the change in blood glucose to interstitial fluid. You can find out more about the accuracy of the Freestyle Libre CGM device on their website. I have that linked in the description box down below. A continuous glucose monitor is for anyone looking to understand and optimize their glucose levels to meet their health goals. Of course, a CGM can be of great benefit to a diabetic patient who's looking to learn more about their body and diabetes. But as I previously mentioned, a CGM can be a great device for preventative health. Essentially, a CGM offers you a way to monitor what's going on and gives you the chance to change your habits before they develop into insulin resistance or diabetes. Ultimately, it benefits anyone who's looking to use advanced and accurate technology to improve their health. If that sounds at all like you, then the CGM and the NutriSense app is right for you. Okay, now that we have covered what the continuous glucose monitor is, the science behind it, and how NutriSense is using the device to help people optimize their health, let's take a look at the steps to get signed up on the NutriSense CGM program. So the process to get started with the NutriSense CGM program is straightforward and seamless. So check this out. In just 5 simple steps, you can begin learning about your glucose levels and optimizing your health. First step is you begin by completing a short sign-up form and selecting a program that fits your needs. Submit your health questionnaire to determine if you qualify. A NutriSense network of doctors will review your questionnaire. If you qualify for the program, you will receive 2 14-day sensors in the mail every month. The NutriSense team uses a questionnaire to screen all applicants to see if they qualify and are suitable to use a continuous glucose monitor. When you have received advice, you can insert the sensor on your upper arm. On the NutriSense website, there is a step-by-step instructions on how to apply your sensor. It's all super easy and painless. Once you have successfully applied the sensor, download the NutriSense app on your phone. Your dietitian will be there to welcome you and support you on your health optimization journey. There are tons of incredible features that you will see when you sign up for the NutriSense program. To show you some of these great features, let's jump into my phone to go into the NutriSense app. Partnered with the CGM sensor on your arm, the NutriSense app allows you to visually see your glucose levels over 24 hours on the glucose chart. Visually seeing this glucose trend information puts you in a better position to make an informed decision about what to do with your current glucose levels. In addition, the 24-hour tracking allows you to notice patterns in your glucose levels. For example, some people see that they consistently wake up between 1 to 3 a.m. Noticing such patterns allows you to analyze and make personalized changes to your diet, exercise, stress, and bedtime routine. As additional health tracking, NutriSense health tracking doesn't end at glucose. Within the app, you can track your meals, stress, activity, sleep, and habits. Improvement in your health happens when you're consistent. Staying consistent in your new eating or lifestyle habits can be difficult. So to help you transition and commit to these new habits, the NutriSense app has a habits feature. It's a simple calendar that allows you to set weekly goals and check them off every day that you complete them. Another great feature to mention is NutriSense report cards. NutriSense has created a simplified scoring system to keep you knowledgeable about your body's needs, but more so, it helps you focus on what is important without getting too caught up in all the numbers. The daily scores are helpful when comparing one day to another. The following components make up the scores: peak, the max glucose level reached during a day; average, the average glucose level for that day; adaptability, the time spent in a healthy glucose range for the day; variability, the standard deviation of the glucose excursions for the day. With the meal tracking feature, you can stop guessing and start controlling your blood sugar levels. Find out what foods cause blood sugar spikes, energy crashes, and more, without needing to prick your finger pre and post meal. The meal scores are super helpful when comparing the glucose response of 2 meals. The following concepts make up the scores: peak, AUC, delta, and 2-hour delta. These raw values are converted to a score from 1 to 10 and combined to make a single total meal score. In the app, you will see that these concepts have much simpler names. They are peak, which is the max glucose level during the 2-hour interval after a meal; exposure, the area under the curve during the 2-hour interval after a meal; stability is a difference between the lowest and highest glucose levels during the 2-hour interval after a meal; recovery, the difference between the glucose level immediately before the meal and 2 hours after the meal; sleep and morning average. In the app's analytics tab, Nutrisense has included overnight and morning glucose stats to help you track your fasting glucose levels. The sleep average is your average glucose throughout the fasting window while you sleep, and the morning average is a point-in-time measurement of your glucose level at the end of your fasting window, just before breakfast. The app provides tons of interesting and informative information, but understanding all this data can be tricky and a little overwhelming. That's why all plans include complimentary dietitian support for the first month. They will ensure you understand your results and offer their expert advice on optimizing your glucose to meet your health goals. If you have questions about your glucose data or need some guidance, reach out to your knowledgeable dietitian right in the in-app chat. It's important to note here that Nutrisense does not diagnose and they cannot provide treatment plans. Another great feature is the experiment tracking tool. Within the Nutrisense app, you can run experiments and get quick verification on what is optimal for your body. We are all unique, and as a result, our bodies respond differently. So with this feature, you can test any hypotheses you want. Test out various workout programs, different macronutrient ratios, or see the response a single food will have on your glucose levels. You can find out more about how to run glucose experiments using the Nutrisense app on their website. There are also integrations. You have the option to link other systems including Google Fit, Biosense, Keto Mojo, Dexcom, and Apple Health. Once connected, you can track your blood glucose, activity, sleep, and various other health information all in the app. With such a feature, you can become more informed about your health and what lifestyle changes can help. Now, in this section of the video, we will look at how much the Nutrisense program costs and what comes inside the kit when you sign up. So Nutrisense offers 2 types of plans. A 14-day option for $175. This is a one-time charge with no recurring charges and no 7-day trial since it's not a subscription. The second option is a monthly subscription. Subscribe for 1, 3, 6, or 12 months minimum and renew automatically. All monthly subscriptions do include a 7-day trial, and the trial period will begin once you activate your first sensor or 14 days after this treatment of your first sensors. So once you sign up for the Nutrisense program, you will be delivered a Nutrisense box, which includes 1 to 2 CGM sensors, depending on the plan you choose. You receive 1 month of complimentary app-based communication with one of the Nutrisense dietitians to discuss your diet, personal health data, and other relevant lifestyle factors that affect your glucose levels. Receive app-based food tracker to identify which foods are causing you the most problems, personal data visualization and analytics, a report on your blood sugar results and areas in which you can improve. As I mentioned in the intro of the video, I want to share some of the insightful data and analytics that I gained using the CGM device and the Nutrisense app. So to show you some of the data that I gained and what I learned, let's jump back into my phone and into the app. So one of the things is walking post-meal can help blunt spikes in blood sugar. Going for a short walk around 10 minutes after eating is often recommended to help with the increased blood sugar caused by a meal. The next piece of data that I found really interesting was fresh freeze-dried fruit. So eating fresh fruit on its own didn't affect my glucose levels as much as I thought it would, or as much as most of us think it would. Because it's common to think that eating fruit will significantly spike glucose levels because fruit, sugar, and But as you can see from the tracking, through the glucose tracking, there wasn't much of a spike. However, it is a good idea to pair any kind of carb, your fruit, with proteins because it will help to lead to a gradual glucose response. So I noticed that for me, dried fruit creates a greater immediate glucose response than fresh fruit. This is likely due to the concentrated amount of sugar, but despite the glucose response, the data reveals I'm unable to process it quickly. So don't fear fruit. Another piece of data that I found was that my fasting levels throughout the night was sometimes a little high. Now I'm currently working to lower my overnight levels, my glucose levels while I sleep. But to find out why glucose levels, blood sugar spikes, if you see that when you're using this CGM device, or you just wake up between 1 and 3 a.m, then I highly recommend reading my product review on my blog on the PCOSORACLE website. Again, description box down below to check it out. So I ran a few experiments to see the impact eating desserts would have on my blood sugar levels. On separate days, I had a gluten-free homemade cookie, store-bought gluten-free coconut macaroons, dark chocolate, and a gluten-free ice cream. So I found that eating the whole cookie causes a huge blood sugar spike. Now on this particular day, I went for a walk pre-eating the cookie. Walking post eating the cookie would have helped blunt the spike because my body would have utilized that sugar. But a few days later, I decided to experiment again with the homemade cookie. This time I had half the cookie and paired it with some goat's milk. Combining the two foods led to a better glucose response. Now I usually only eat 2 small pieces of dark chocolate. That's enough to satisfy me. From the CGM data, I found dark chocolate doesn't cause much of a blood sugar response, but I know others who eat dark chocolate and see a significant spike in their blood sugar. As with everything, it differs from person to person. And I ate the coconut macaroon on 2 separate days. On both days, the results from the CGM show that there wasn't much of a glucose spike. I believe this could have been because coconut has a mild impact on blood glucose levels. Lastly, the ice cream and chocolate sticks. My glucose peaked fairly high after eating the ice cream, and it took my body some time to recover. The spike is most likely due to the sugar content and the minimal amount of protein found in the ice cream stick. The third piece of data that I found really insightful and helpful was that food quantity and portion sizes really does matter. So it's not just about the foods we eat, but it's about also the quantity, our portion sizes. So not eating enough and overeating can both impact our blood sugar levels. So while it's important to create balanced meals that combine all 3 macronutrients, your carbohydrates, fats and protein, it's important to also create meals that are the right quantity for you. I also found that coffee can help reduce glucose levels. So many people may not expect that because coffee is often labelled as this bad food, but the truth is that the bad effects ascribed to coffee usually involve taking it in large doses in a short period of time, but also not drinking it correctly. Now, another piece of data that I found really interesting was the alcohol glucose tracking. Now, I'm not much of a drinker, but on certain occasions I will have a drink. Now, looking at my data, the day I did have some alcohol, which was simply a glass of red wine, was my birthday. To explain the impact alcohol has on our blood sugar levels, I want to share the message Molly, the registered dietitian, I also had on my podcast, sent. She explains alcohol can impact glucose in a variety of different ways, depending largely on the amount and type of alcohol, as well as your nutritional state, fasted or fed. Carbohydrate-containing alcoholic beverages, such as sugary cocktails or beer, can lead to an immediate spike after drinking. Liqueur or dry wine often have no immediate effect on glucose or can even slightly lower glucose levels. So wine can dilute the glucose response. If you eat a meal with and without a glass of wine, you'll probably see a smaller response if it is consumed with the wine. So Molly states that if I did not have the wine with the meal, then the spike may have been greater. She states that many people will see a glucose dip several hours after drinking while the body prioritizes breaking down the alcohol over normal glucose production. However, it is very common to observe higher fasting glucose and overall glucose levels the day after drinking due to slightly impaired glucose tolerance, even from just one drink. So as Molly mentions, as you can see from my graph, my glucose didn't spike as much. It went from 105 to 141. Now, as this was my birthday meal, I did have a range of food and lots of carbs, so the wine may have helped stop my blood sugar from rising even more. As you can see, my glucose levels returned pre-meal values within 2 hours, but I also had a slight dip in blood sugar. So on another day, I decided to test having alcohol, particularly wine, without a meal. So about an hour and a half after I had my dinner, I had a few glasses of wine to see the response. As you can see from the glucose tracking chart, the wine seemed to have lowered my glucose response from that meal. So my blood sugar levels have gone down. For the second 14-day sensor that I received in the NutriSense kit, I inserted the sensor around my luteal phase when my period was due, and I gained a lot of very interesting and insightful data from this period, something that will be very helpful during my next cycle to keep in mind. And what I found was that my tolerance to carbohydrates is lower during this time. But as Molly explained in the in-app chat, she states that many women experience high glucose levels during the luteal phase of the menstrual cycle, weeks 3 and 4, leading right up to the period. The highest glucose levels tend to be just a few days before the period actually starts. The rise in progesterone during this period seems to decrease insulin sensitivity, and she states that she will usually see higher glucose levels and spikes during this time. And that's definitely what was going on, because I was noticing these high rises during my as I got close to when my period was due, from meals I've had time and time again, same portion size, same quantity, same kind of things I was doing, and I was responding differently to it, and I was thinking what is going on? And then I realized that, I'm obviously due, this is the luteal phase, I'm due in a couple of days, so it made sense, and I started to adjust things to help minimize these spikes. But yeah, this was all super interesting to obviously apply the sensor around this time, just to see how your blood sugar levels and responses can really change depending on hormones. To find out more about the data presented in the NutriSense app, as well as my data, going more into my own personal data, then I highly recommend listening to my podcast episode with Molly Downey. I have it, click the card here, and I also have a link in the description box down below. So I highly recommend checking that out. So, like I said, if you want to find out more about my data, check the podcast interview or check out my blog product review or on the website. Now, let's cover some of those pros and cons of the Nutrisense CGM program. So, let's start off with the pros. The first pro is that it's convenient. It eliminates the need for numerous finger pricks. The second is it provides glucose trend information in real time. The third is that the Freestyle Libre CGM is approved to replace self-monitoring finger prick checks for insulin dosing and treating lows. Also, it does not require calibration finger prick checks either. Another is that it has tons of reports. You can notice glucose patterns. It provides you with an array of insightful data that inform you about how to optimize your diet and lifestyle. Another benefit is that there's connection and personalized care from the signed registered dietitian. Another pro is that the NutriSense app is clear and simple to use. Another pro is that there's increased confidence and comfort in knowing your diet and habits are keeping blood sugar levels stable. Another is you're able to track your health from one place. It's FDA approved, there's privacy and confidentiality. Also, NutriSense takes care of the medical prescription for the CGM device. Now let's look at some of those cons. Okay, so one con is that the accuracy. There is a 5 to 15 minute delay between the change in blood glucose and interstitial fluid. The device does not automatically alert you if your blood sugar levels are too low or too high. Another drawback is, data overload. There's so much information, which is awesome, but sometimes just information overload really can be, another kind of drawback is that all this information can become very obsessive, and you can have an over reliance on the CGM device and tracking, and always being hyper focused on what's going to happen. So here are my final thoughts. When it comes to health, we should be proactive and open to educating ourselves. The NutriSense program offers consumers greater control over their health, and the CGM device is an excellent tool for preventative health. Knowledge is power. Thanks to the NutriSense program, I discovered how my current diet and lifestyle impacted my glucose levels. The real-time tracking allowed me to make informed decisions right then and there to improve my glucose response. And with the newfound knowledge I obtained through using the CGM device and the app, I've begun working on my own meal density, macronutrient composition, and workout nutrition. And since making these changes and constantly tweaking things, I've noticed an improvement in my body temperature, energy levels, weight, and mood. Nutrisense has kindly provided me with a promo code for $25 off your program, making it more affordable for you. The code is PCOSORACLE, PCOSORACLE. All on the screen here, also in the description box down below. Go ahead, check out Nutrisense, read my full in-depth review on my website, check out Nutrisense, and I hope you enjoy the program and using the CGM device as much as I did. I truly believe that this will open your eyes to your diet, your lifestyle, and really help you improve some of those habits that you're doing, and just better understand your glucose levels and, most importantly, how to optimize them. Thank you so much for watching the video. I hope you enjoyed the review. I hope you found some value. If you did enjoy the video, then please leave the video a like, share it, leave a comment, let me know what you think. Have you used the Nutrisense program? How did you find the experience? Let me know your thoughts in the comment section down below. And don't forget to subscribe for plenty more videos. I'll catch you in the next one.